Hey, now, I haven't been streaming World of Warcraft much lately, as you probably know, and I realized that maybe World of Warcraft is not the best game to stream for me. However, there are certain things I would like to do. So, welcome to the series. This is sort of a little bit of prequel to the series themselves. I'm not going to be diving into the lore walking just yet, but what I would like to do would be 3 separate videos on each currently available lore walking chapters that we have. One is about Ethereals, one is about Xalatat, and one is about Lich King. But before we get to that, I realized quite recently actually that there is one thing that is being memed on a lot. There are various, even one of the recent videos from Angelika Tosh was talking about ERP on World of Warcraft servers and in games in general. That got me thinking, because my new character, it's a human warrior. This is going to be a character that I'm going to be going through the lore working with. And as I created her, I didn't really like new island leveling zone, mostly because how broken it is when you dive in and try to edit your interface. You just can't do it until you get out of the island. Maybe they fixed it, maybe it wasn't fixed like about a year ago, so I wouldn't bet on it. Now, why am I talking about this? I wanted a human character, so I started in Nurture Abbey. Now, if you know what Nurture Abbey is, it is the starting area in Elven Forest where you play as a human when you start as a human, and it's one of those areas that are for the beginners. You go kill some orcs, some goblin assassins, basically pretty much the normal stuff. It has been changed a little bit since vanilla, but not too much. There are like a couple of new NPCs that you can talk to and a couple of new quests that you can do. It's a little bit modernized, but it haven't really changed since Cataclysm, to be fair. Once you are done with Nurture Abbey, however, you get sent to Goldshire, and now Goldshire is a huge controversy. And as you see in this video, Goldshire is full of people. I am playing on Argent Down, one of the most populated RP servers in Europe. The equivalent for the US for this would be Moongard, I believe. These servers are being memed upon as being this quote-unquote ERP nests, and especially Goldshire location as it is, but that is only half of the truth, right? It is very easy to meme upon this, and while it is true that while some shenanigans like this are happening and can happen in Goldshire, if you are going there as a new player or as just a player who is not interested in this sort of stuff at all, you're not going to be affected by this. And now I'm not advocating for these people. What I'm saying is that those memes are a little bit exaggerated. And to explain this a little bit further, now what happens if you get to Goldshire? Now, you see a lot of people everywhere. And yes, if you go into the inn, you will see a couple of characters standing there without their pants on, and probably doing whatnot. Now, this does not affect you as a player, though. What I mean by this is literally what I just said. If, by some miracle, even in 2025, somebody would be stupid enough to write some rude or lewd things into the chat, they would get pretty swiftly reported by other players, and you could report them as well. They would get probably banned or chat banned or whatever, punished in a certain way from Blizzard for breaching terms of service in this sort of way. So they are not doing that, right? And while this was realistic scenario, you could 10 years ago you could probably found people doing this kind of stuff in the open world, or maybe 15 years ago, I don't know. Even then you had an option to report them, and they pretty quickly learned that these kind of shenanigans are better to be discussed in private, right? So they are using whispers or party chat, but even that can be reported. So maybe they are using private discourse, I don't know. They are using some role-playing add-ons for this. But even those role-playing add-ons are now doubling down to basically extinguish this kind of behavior. For you as a player, none of this really concerns you. What actually concerns you? If you look around here on this footage, on this very footage, what actually happens when you get to Goldshire is you see a lot of people. You see an inn populated with people, which is something that keeps the server alive, right? It's actually giving you an impression that this game is not dead, that this game is populated. And this is one thing where role-playing servers actually shine compared to all other servers that we can talk about. As most other servers, they are sharded, so you usually meeting only constant number of people. They are spread very thin, so you meet only a couple of people. Sometimes there are people from different shards, etc. But this is nothing. It is really inconsistent. In role-playing servers, you are mostly meeting the same kind of people. If there is some sharding, often you meet people from other role-playing servers. The people from non-RP servers, it's less common. It's usually mostly only in dungeons, meaning these role-playing servers are basically the last bastion of how it used to look like and what is actually making people nostalgic for classic servers, you know, and for vanilla, where like when you were playing on the server, you would be encountering people from that same server, meaning your progression in the world would mean something for the people you would encounter. I think Goldshire actually encapsulates this pretty well, because if you look around, and especially outside the inn, but inside the inn as well, there are a lot of people who are not interested in like these sort of dirty activities, and they are just there for the lulz, for dancing. You know, they are talking to each other, dueling, doing shenanigans, showing off their mounts, and basically making the place feel alive. So it is kind of cool actually to see to see this, right? This is all I wanted to talk about today regarding, like, you know, just tone down the bit. You know, it's fun to meme on the role-playing server and blah blah blah. But like, the fact is, the role-playing server are having something that most other servers do not have, that we are actually missing from the past, from when every server has its own identity. And maybe with like housing and neighborhoods coming in, some of this will actually get back into the game, even outside of Goldshire.
Good day to you. Safe travels.
So that's one quest. All right, one thing done. Where is some NPC is missing. I guess Horde is killing everything around here. Yes, NPC is missing too. The patrons don't seem to mind. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for them to respawn. That's a little bit awkward. Anyway, as I was saying, I have created this character for mostly doing lore walking, so stay tuned for that. I will be showcasing two things during the lore walking itself. One thing is going to be how the lore walking and what are these stories that we are talking about, and basically analyze a little bit what I know. I've been playing this game for 20 years, so I have a little bit of knowledge about the lore. You know, I'm not noble or anything like that, but I know a thing or two, and I want to dive into a little bit deeper and see what kind of lore is to be expected. Now, it is not a coincidence that Blizzard gave us like Ethereals and Zalatat, because unlike Ardas, that is like the third, I guess probably they had the Northrend ready, so they put it in as a third option. But those two options are going to be majorly tied to the upcoming patch, right? The new raid and the new zone. And I really like the idea that you can level up through lore working. So on this newly created character, we're also going to see how fast or how effective it is to level up through these lore working shenanigans. That's all. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, and stay awesome, folks. And stay tuned for the upcoming lore walking. Woo! Bye!